Let's bring in our first guest, big-time coach to many stars of the past. He's got his own tennis academy, now the current coach of Naomi Osaka. We've had him on before. Patrick Mouratoglou joins us. Patrick, it's great to see you again. You got myself, Sloane Stevens, Tracy Austin, Nick Monroe. We were just speaking about how your calendar and schedule must be crazy. We know you, Naomi was in Madrid. What does the schedule look like for Team Osaka coming up?
Well, we decided to play a smaller tournament this week. We're in Saint-Malo in France. She really needs to play matches. For the last 6-8 months, she's been injured a lot, so unfortunately she hasn't been able to play enough, and we feel it's the thing she needs the most now. We had 3 weeks of intensive practice on clay, so she's ready to play, and now she has to play matches. I think that's the thing she needs, again, the most.
Patrick, thanks again for joining us. I always love watching your videos online on Instagram and looking at your academy here in the French Riviera. But I want to go back to kind of how you first got your start in coaching. Sometimes players maybe played on the tour or different things, but how did you first get started in coaching?
Well, I started with my tennis academy, which is very unusual because I was not a tennis coach at all when I started.
Frozen.
In my region and nationally in France. But I stopped very early because my parents didn't think it was a good idea to play tennis professionally. And that hurt me a lot because I didn't see anything.
All right, not ideal.
So at 26, I decided to start my tennis academy. I was renting 2 courts in a club, and then years old, I mean, several players from my academy asked me to coach them, and honestly, I never gave a tennis lesson before that age.
Yeah.
Never thought I would, by the way. But I said, I thought, why not? Because I thought it was also important for my academy, because at that time, my academy was named after me, and me not being a coach was looking a bit weird. And as I had some requests, I started. So that's literally how I did. And I remember it was funny because when I said that to my coaches, my team, that I will start to coach, they looked at me like, but you never gave a tennis lesson in your life. And I answered, that's true, but I learned fast. Well, and that's what I did. I tried to learn as fast as I could.
Well, you've had some amazing success already. I mean, we know you worked with Serena Williams and helped her win Grand Slams, and now you're working with Naomi Osaka. What drew you to Naomi to want to help coaching her?
Well, first of all, I'm very motivated because I feel her motivation to come back and to do great things again. When we started, I think she was going through a difficult period. We all know the story she went through, and then she had a baby, and then she was coming back. She didn't have a great year the year before. I think she started quite well because she reached the 4th round in the first tournament. It was in China. It's a big tournament, and she was 6-4, 5-4 up against Coco, and then her abs broke. She had to pull out, then 2 months off, then restarted. We did the preseason. We restarted in Auckland. She was in the final, I think 5-3 up in the first set, and then her abs broke again, second time, and then again at the Australian Open. So was really complicated. I think she's really practicing well. She's improving a lot. But if you look at the past 3-4 years, she really lacks matches. She really needs to play much more. And I'm sure that everything will fall back in place once she will be able to compete on a regularly, not 2 weeks in, 3 months off, like it was before.
Patrick, I want to go back to the Serena coaching-player relationship, because 2012, Serena loses in the first round of the French. So obviously not in a great place by Serena standards, because she'd won it. So how did that partnership start? How did she find you? And then also coached her to 10 more majors after that. It seems like, to me, you did an amazing job of keeping Serena motivated, maybe thinking big picture, history, and instead of just, next year, next major, because that to me was incredible to earn 10 more.
Well, thank you, Tracy, first, for your words. I mean, the way she found me was quite weird because she was not looking for a coach. She was looking for a place to practice in Paris after her loss in the first round. So she knew me just a little bit. She knew I had an academy in Paris at that time. I was not in the south of France. So she called me to have just a court and 2 hitting partners, which I did. And I was standing next to the court. And after 45 minutes hitting, she suddenly turned to me. I was outside the court and said, talk to me.
Wow.
So I didn't expect it. So I talked to her. I told her that the things that I was seeing. And then she said, can we work on it? So I stepped on the court and I started to work with her. That's literally how it started.
Love that.
And then I was at that time coaching Dimitrov, and she asked me once in Wimbledon, she called me and she said, would you do that tournament with me? I said, I will ask Grigor if he was fine with it. Grigor said yes, and that's really how it started.
Oh, wow.
But just to answer the second question, it's funny because when we started, yes, she lost in the first round of Roland Garros, but also 2 years without winning a Grand Slam, which is a lot for Serena.
Yes.
And she told me, I just want to win one more and potentially end up my career, because she was not playing great for 2 years. I mean, not to her standards.
Right.
Let's say it like this. So that was a short-term thing at that time. But because she won Wimbledon and right after 2 gold medals, singles and doubles at the Olympics, and then after again U.S. Open, and then the WTA Championship at the end of the season, then she completely forgot about potentially retiring. And then yes, it was a lot about motivation. After she won several more, we talked about the record of Chris Evert and Martina Navratilova, and the goal was to beat this one.
18 majors.
And then, of course, after Steffi Graf. And it's funny because I remember, I mean, 2 months, 1 month before the US Open, when she would, if she would have won it, by the way, tie Steffi at that time, she said to me, okay, so what's next? Because once I do that, what am I going to do? So that was always chasing something for her was very important.
Right.
She always had something in mind, a big goal in mind that was motivating her, because, yeah, of course, difficult to imagine how it feels to win so many Grand Slams, but I guess the motivation at some point is tough. And we see it with Novak now. That's his big struggle.
Yeah.
The guy, it's not about his tennis. It's just about him being, it's very obvious when he plays matches, and probably when he practices.
Yeah.
What's his goal now that he found out to win more slams than his 2 big rivals, which were Roger and Rafa.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Fritz gets the hold, so 5-4, hanging out with Patrick. You've worked with so many different players at different stages, men and women. And it's crazy because Naomi's already accomplished so much, no doubt about it, future Hall of Famer. But she's only 27 years old. And we saw someone like Madison Keys, she just won her first major. She's 30 years old. She's at a career high ranking. What do you think the prime age range is? And I know every player is different, but do you think there is a prime age range either for the men or for the women? And now, of course, you're focused more on the WTA side.
Well, I mean, as you said, it really depends on the players. Some are able to play their best tennis very early. We saw Carlos Alcaraz, which is a good example. He has already 3 slams, which is crazy at his age, or 3 or 4.
4.
Maybe 4. 4, yeah. So which at his age is completely insane. But you remember also that Roger won his first slam later, at 23, I think,
22,
if I'm not
maybe?
wrong.
Yeah, something. Yep.
Yeah, but much later, and then you see players like Wawrinka, who won his first at 30 and then won 2 others. So I don't think there is an age. I think there are some. I mean, sometimes it's also meeting the right person. I think when Andy Murray, started to work with Norman, then he started to be much more successful. Not Magnus Norman.
Wawrinka.
Magnus Norman was Stan Wawrinka.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really when Stan started to make it. He started probably to believe more in himself. I mean, something happened, and he was playing already at a great level. But sometimes you need a little bit of extra to believe in yourself enough to beat the best. And this happened for him. It happened for Andy Murray with Ivan Lendl. Sorry for the confusion. So, I mean, it's not always about the coach, but I think the coaching is very important. And and when there is and I think maybe Sloane can say something about it because she had something maybe I mean she knows better than me, but when she met also Kamau, she won her slam, and I think she played the best tennis of her life. But so sometimes it's important to have someone you trust, someone you feel comfortable, very comfortable with, someone who motivates you more, someone who maybe helps you find keys that you didn't find before. So maybe that's the reason. I don't know if it's an age. What is sure is that the players are playing much longer than before. That's sure. So it gives more opportunities to every player to, at some point, find their best tennis and find their best results.
Yeah, and Patrick, you've been around tennis so long and coached so many great champions, from Serena to Osaka, Dimitrov, Tsitsipas. What do you think separates the good players from the great players?
He's really thinking about this.
Terms of
No, I'm
tennis,
just kidding.
not
He's
so
frozen.
much.
He's frozen.
Oh, we
There
got
you
you.
are,
Sorry,
we got you.
we froze for a second. But yeah, what do you think separates the good players from the great players from what you've seen out there?
I would say not so much in terms of tennis, not so much in terms of fitness level, because a lot of guys and a lot of women tennis players are incredibly good technically, tactically, physically, but for me, it's the mental side. I think the champions are just processing things really differently. They're never satisfied. They always want more. They have a big perception of themselves in terms of how good they are in terms of tennis players. And I think it's very important. And you see it in the young players. That's how we can say very often, oh, this guy or this young lady is going to be great, because you see that they believe in themselves much more than others. We saw it with Alcaraz when he started to make some results. They don't fear anyone. They think they can beat anybody. And we hear it, when we are around those guys, we hear them talk, and yeah, some people are faking it, but some are not. And I come back to Novak. You remember when Rafa and Roger were winning absolutely everything. All the top 10 players were saying it's impossible to win a slam with those two guys, and plus there was Murray. So it felt impossible. And then a young 19 years old came up, and I'm talking about Novak, and he said, I'm going to beat those guys. And not only he said it, but he made it. But he made it because he believed in himself so much. And when you were seeing his game at that time, you would think, how come this guy think he's going to beat those two guys that are unbeatable?
Yeah.
But the belief, the self-belief, the fact that they want more all the time, the fact that they want to always progress, where a lot of players are always scared to lose what they have, so they're always in their comfort zone. I mean, there are a lot of mental parameters that make them great and that don't make others. I mean, they're great players, but they're not champions.
Okay, I have a question, totally off topic, just totally for me and the girlies out there. When are we going to have a women's UTS? Because I'm sure you're working on it.
Well, completely. I mean, I'm a huge fan of women's tennis, as probably people know, because I've coached a lot of women and I love the game. Also, I think it's a different game from men's tennis, but I think it's extremely exciting. And we have a lot of women players that are also extremely exciting. And I'm sure a lot of people would love to see it on a different format. So that's really a goal. But just to make it clear, I just made a men's tour for the moment because, it's a difficult business, very difficult. We were starting off. I invested a lot of money to make it possible, and to do both men and women would be just too much. And my goal is to make it successful, first in terms of attendance, and as you see, it's extremely successful.
Awesome. Yeah.
But it took a few years. The stadiums were much smaller, even 2 years ago. And second is, the business has to run and to make money, and then I can consider to make a women's tour is even more difficult than a men's tour because the business is more difficult. But I really want to do it. That's really a goal. And I promise you, Sloane, I'll make it.
Okay.
Right.
Patrick,
Invite
we
me.
want to ask you about your book, Champion Mindset, and Coco Gauff gives you the kudos at the beginning. And because you have worked with Coco, everybody that you work with talks about how you help them to gain the confidence. And I would assume that this champion mindset is obviously not about just athletes, but it's about people in general. So what is your philosophy on the champion mindset? Because you seem to really help to make people feel that confidence.
Yeah, that's true, Tracy. It's not a book about tennis. Of course, I talk a lot about tennis inside the book because I've taken care of tennis people most of my life, and I go through examples of a lot of players I've worked with. But I think it's a book that is, and I hope that's a goal that is helpful for anyone in any field, because I think the champion mindset can make people be successful whatever they do. And actually, I remember something that Richard Williams told me a long time ago, way before I started to coach Serena. He said to me, and I know he's right, I prepared my daughters to be successful in life, and mentally they were so confident that whatever they would do, tennis or anything else, they would be successful. And I think he's totally right.
Yes.
So the mindset is everything. It's everything. So I've been lucky to work with a lot of champions, and I have a lot of friends, champions in other sports. I mean, big champions, and sometimes even legends like Ronaldo or Mike Tyson that I'm very close to. And I know how different they are, how differently they process. And my goal in this book is to help people not think like Serena or Mike Tyson, because not everyone can think like them, but to understand what it takes to build your confidence. And because when you have the confidence, you can accomplish so much more, and you dare accomplishing things, you dare trying. And a lot of people, most of the people don't even try because they're sure there is a voice in their head that tells them it's too difficult, it's not for you, you're not going to be able to make it. And to change that voice takes confidence, and building people's confidence is the number one key of success. So it's a lot about how to build that confidence. And I give the keys that I learned from the greatest I've worked with.
I can't wait to get that book. And Patrick, before we let you go, we saw the Mouratoglou world map. You have 14 tennis centers and academies around the world. Even one of them's in Austin, Texas now. It just opened up a few months ago. So how do clubs or academies get involved with the Mouratoglou philosophy and become a Mouratoglou tennis center?
Yeah, we started that not so long ago, actually. So we're growing really fast. We probably end the year with around 20. And the goal is to implement it with around 10 per year for the next 5 years. We have a lot of requests. The goal is to operate the courts for whether there are entities like luxury hotels or sometimes even academies. We just run the courts for them. So we provide a great quality. Their clients are happy. And of course, it's a very good business for everyone. So that's exactly what we're doing. We're now all around the world. We have in Asia, South America, Latin America, US. We have several in the US and of course Europe. And we recruit coaches all year long. We have more than 150 coaches working with us now. And we, of course, teach them the methods because we want them to work with the methods that we're using for now more than 25 years. And we have also people who are going, we have someone responsible for each center and people going around and checking on the quality of the products that we're proposing, because that's the key. And that's why I never wanted to sell my name or to anyone, because I want to guarantee the quality, because that's also how you guarantee the quality of the brand for the future. I can't sell my name to anyone.
You got a lot on your plate, and that's why we always appreciate your time. Congrats on the book, Patrick, and good luck with Team Naomi coming up for the next tournament.
Thank you very much, and thank you for the invitation.
Good luck, Patrick.
Good luck, Patrick.
See you soon.
Thank you.